Joseph Smith was directed by a heavenly messenger named Moroni to a hill where gold plates had lain hidden for centuries. The gold plates contained the writings of prophets giving an account of God's dealings with some of the ancient inhabitants of the Americas.
Did you know that Joseph Smith first claimed it was Nephi who appeared to him, not Moroni?
We've never heard of that claim. What proof do you have of that?
Here's a quote from Joseph Smith himself, found in the church-published newspaper Times and Seasons, April 15, 1842. "When I first looked upon him, I was afraid, but the fear soon left me. He called me by name and said unto me that he was a messenger sent from the presence of God to me, and that his name was Nephi, that God has a work for me to do. He said there was a book deposited written upon gold plates, giving an account of the former inhabitants of this continent, and the source from whence they sprang."
I think that might have been a misquote or a misprint.
Joseph lived for 2 years after the name Nephi was printed in the Times and Seasons, and being the editor, he never published a retraction. 2 months later, in 1842, the Millennial Star, printed in England, also published Joseph Smith's story, stating that the angel's name was Nephi. The newspaper quotes, "Again, we read the history of our beloved brother Joseph Smith and the glorious ministry and message of the angel Nephi, which has finally opened a new dispensation to man. Again, he never published a retraction or made any alterations to his own writings."
That's not what we teach today.
I have to agree. In modern printings of the history of the church, Nephi has been changed to read Moroni. But other than a couple of references where the name Moroni appeared in 1835 and in 1838, the angel firmly became Nephi in Joseph Smith's writings. Apparently, Nephi was the name he had settled upon and intended to be used for his angel.
All we know is that we believe in the authorized account given in our canonized scripture, which names the angel Moroni.
I hate to press the issue, but there has been some confusion when it comes to your canonized scriptures.
What do you mean?
Details of the angelic visitation were fully documented and published in the early edition of the Pearl of Great Price.
Okay, so?
Let me read it to you. This is in the Pearl of Great Price, Joseph Smith History, 1851 edition. "He called me by name and said unto me that he was a messenger sent from the presence of God to me, and that his name was Nephi."
It doesn't say that in my Pearl of Great Price. It says the messenger was Moroni.
That's because Mormon apostle Orson Pratt changed it from Nephi to Moroni in the 1878 edition of the Pearl of Great Price. It appears, as with the several first vision accounts, the story of the angel's visits evolved over many years.
The fact of the matter is that Moroni makes much more sense than Nephi because it was Moroni who buried the plates.
But let's not forget that Joseph Smith said the angel's name was Nephi, not Moroni. In the end, a statue of the angel Moroni now appears, covered in gold leaf atop LDS temples, while the angel Nephi is consigned to the pages of the Book of Mormon.